These are my absolute favorite types of videos to make, these video responses to evangelical Christians. But you're probably wondering, what's with the mustache? This terrible mustache is brought to you by Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, and Fandango's premiere Super Ticket Experience. Try saying that 10 times fast. The Super Ticket Experience allows you to see the film 2 days before its release, among a copy of Wake Up Ron Burgundy and a few other great perks. If you click the link below, you'll be able to see Ron Burgundy introduce the Super Ticket himself. If you leave your favorite Anchorman quote in the comments of that video, you will be entered to win 2 tickets from Fandango to see the movie.
Because of the title of this video, I know a lot of you came prepared to hate or to fight for your lack of belief, but at least hear what I have to say before you hate.
So I have to ask the question, what defines hate? Because I see a lot of Christians who say that they're hated by atheists, when I don't think this is the case at all. I don't hate you, the person making this video. Yes, you're a Christian. Yes, you believe in the God. Yes, you believe in the Bible. But I don't hate you as a person. To say otherwise, in my personal opinion, I feel as if it's a little bit misleading, because just because I disagree with your ideologies and don't believe in your religion or your God or your holy book does not mean that I hate you.
It makes sense to me why some people are agnostic, because they trust in certain parameters, and within those parameters, the existence of a God cannot be disproven, and in their view, it cannot be proven either. But atheists, a lot of them trust in the same parameters, but they conclude there is no God. One reason it doesn't really make sense to me is because they're not really going in the direction that new scientific findings lead.
We're not going where scientific findings lead? I completely disagree. I think the exact opposite. And I'm not sure what you mean by scientific findings, because you're a Christian, and I think your definition of scientific is completely different of my definition of scientific and what we classify as evidence. And we could get into the whole semantic game here on arguing what classifies as evidence to you and evidence for me. I mean, for example, scientific findings have shown that a Big Bang or something happened which has caused a red shift out in space. We have evidence for this. I mean, we have evidence for evolution, that the Earth is millions of years old, not 6,000 years old like the Bible says. And while I'm not a scientist, I'm no expert in cosmology or evolution or biology, what I do know is that these scientific findings further strengthen my lack of belief in a deity. When anybody tells me, look around you, look at the trees, look at the rivers, look at the dirt, look at the flowers, it's intelligent design. I look right down at my penis and look at my ball sack and I say, wow, way to make a very, very vulnerable place on a man, having his genitals on the outside of his body, which if you literally get tapped or hit, you'll fall to the ground instantaneously. I do not like having my testicles on the outside of my body, super vulnerable for anybody to harm them. Personally, I think that is one shitty design.
Rather, they're going in the direction that best suits the story they've already chosen to be true. My question to an atheist is, how can you be sure there is no God? And I'm not talking here specifically about the God that I believe in. Just, how can you be sure?
I think the question you should be asking is, how can you be sure that the God you worship is the correct God, the correct deity? There are so many religions and so many deities which all hundreds of thousands of people believe in, all of which have different qualities and attributes, that how do you know which God is the real one? I think that's the question you should be asking yourself, not, you atheists, how can you be sure there is no God? I don't find that it's my responsibility to answer this question, simply because, number one, I don't care if a God does exist. I really don't. Well, to an extent I do. If a God exists and he's the God of the Bible, then yes, I do care, because I think he's an asshole and he's done a lot of terrible things. But overall, if a God does exist, I don't care, and I don't feel if it's my responsibility to make with 100% certainty that there is no God or that there is a God. Like, it's not my job. I'm not the one attempting to put human-like attributes and human-like qualities with a deity or 2 deities or 3 deities or thousands of hundreds of different types of gods.
If you're like some atheist, you might claim, well, I don't know with certainty. There is just no evidence to support the existence of a God. I think there definitely is, but fair enough. I just wonder though, if that's the case, why focus so much on trying to explain a world without God?
Why focus so much on trying to explain a world with God? See, I don't like the God of the Gaps. I think anybody who uses the God of the Gaps as an attempt to explain things, in my personal opinion, is dumb. I really think that. And I'm not trying to be harsh, and I'm not trying to diss and bash all religious people, but the God of the Gaps theory is just one of those facepalm things where I'm like, no, 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 no. Because it's called the lazy cop-out, as I see it, where you don't have an answer, so you're just going to throw God into it. Well, it has to be God, it has to be God. I mean, I'm not even going to address this theory, this argument. It's not an argument, but so many people on YouTube have addressed the whole God of the Gaps thing that I don't feel it's necessary for me to go into detail. You see, I'm a very, very curious person. I want to have answers, and I want to have answers for things. And for me just to throw in the concept of it must have been God eliminates any chance of me actually opening up my mind, and me learning new things and finding new answers, because I'm just too goddamn lazy to go out and actually try to find those answers through learning biology, through learning about evolution, through learning about archaeology, learning about biology, and so on and so forth. I am limiting my education by replacing God as the default for everything.
Let me rephrase that to make it a little clearer. If your reason for not believing in God is lack of evidence, why aren't you desperately trying to find that conclusive evidence that will let you know for sure that there is no God?
No, and like I said earlier, I don't care. I think it's your job to prove and show me why I should believe in your specific God. Because let's say I believed in the God of Zeus, okay? And you believe in the God of the Bible. And you're telling me that I should believe in your God. You have to show me why I should believe in that God versus the God of Zeus. Now, I don't believe in any gods. It's kind of like restaurants that compete with one another. You know, one restaurant always wants to show that their food is better than the other one, and for their customers, they have to show why their chicken marsalsa is better than Applebee's chicken marsalsa. You know, they make the same food, but one tastes better than the other, and they want to compete and grab people to come over to their restaurant rather than the other restaurant. And in the same way, it's like you with your God. I could believe in a God, but I feel as if it's your job to show me why I should believe in your specific one.
You can't disprove a negative, it's a waste of time. You might as well try to disprove that there is no Santa Claus or spaghetti monster. But see, we can disprove those things. There is no sign of a Santa Claus. We know where that story originated.
We know where that story originated. Well said. We know where your story originated too. Christianity, your religion, your God. I believe it's a man-made concept, which in a way was created through anthropomorphism, which I'm going to make a video on that specific topic later next month.
There are no magic gifts appearing every Christmas morning, and not once have we spotted flying reindeer. And the spaghetti monster, that was just a silly concept created to show that it is silly to believe in a God, but there's not really any substance there. With God, if you're willing to actually and genuinely keep an open mind, there are signs of Him everywhere, and if you're willing to look in the right places, you'll be amazed at just how real and evident He is.
Okay, let's see how real and evident He really is, shall we? Yeah, I'm sorry? No, my balls are still on the outside of my body, and I'm squeezing them right now, which kind of hurts, but smells good too, actually. I'm very, very clean down there.
I find it interesting and a bit sad that atheists often claim that the burden is on religious people to prove that there is a God. That burden is on atheists. My burden is to let you know about God and His love for you, not to scientifically prove you wrong. Why is it a burden on disproving God on the atheist? Well, if you're 100% sure that there is no God, you're just lying to yourself, because that's something that has never been proven.
I actually agree with you here, but here's the thing, is that we atheists, for the most part, people that I know, have never claimed to know with 100% certainty that a God does not exist. Rather, we simply choose not to believe in the existence of a God because we don't have enough empirical observable data to prove otherwise. We want evidence for things. We want answers to things. We're not just going to throw God into an answer that we don't have an answer for. We're not going to believe in God simply because you tell us that your God is love, merciful, and compassionate, when if you look in your holy book, which the book that you believe in, the Bible, I see the exact opposite.
And if you're not sure, it's in your best interest to be sure. Because if there is no God, Fine, our death is the end of it all. I lived my life the best I saw fit, and so did you. It makes no difference. But if there is a God, that means you were wrong. At which point, your only hope becomes that the major religions are all wrong about non-believers being sent to a not very pleasant place after we die.
No, 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 no. That was a blood effect. No. Ugh. Why? Why did you have to go there, my friend? Why? I'm not going to address this again, but you just use Pascal's wager. I have videos on this topic. There's a great video by Jacqueline Glenn. I'm going to link that down below in the description. You can go there, watch her video on Pascal's wager. You, my fellow Christian, just did the dumb deed. The dumb thing. You use Pascal's wager, and when you use this, I'm not even gonna, I can't address it anymore. Like, I'm done trying to explain why the Pascal wager doesn't work to people like you.
You see what I'm saying? Being atheist is very risky in that sense, especially if you don't know with a certainty that there is no God. And I ask again, how can you be sure? Are you willing to not even consider the possibility of the existence of a God just because some people think it's dumb to believe in God?
No, not at all. I'm completely open to the idea of a deity or a God existing when the evidence, when things come along, empirical data and things that I can see that would prove that an intelligent designer is, well, intelligent and he created the world and created me with the testicles on the outside of my body. You know, when I can see those things, I am open to learning and open to changing my views and opinions and beliefs. After all, I used to be a Christian. I used to follow God. I used to believe in the Bible. I used to do all of that stuff. So I know where you're coming from. And when I finally got out of that religious mindset and out of my stupid, inconsistent thinking that I was indoctrinated with, going to church and being raised up in an environment where that's all I knew, I changed my belief and I changed my perspective to a deist. And for over a year and a half, I was a deist, which believed in an intelligent designer, but not the God of the Bible. It just believes that God, a deist is someone who just believed that God made the world and just left us to rot and kill ourselves through wars and bombings and whatever it be. And then after being a deist for almost a whole year, atheism made more sense to me.
I personally rather be perceived as dumb my whole life than risk my afterlife. If you're willing to bet on the fact that everything around you is a result of randomness and no involvement of an intelligent being, that's on you, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Because even something as simple as this, you wouldn't believe that it just fell into place looking this way. It looks like someone built it. I did actually. I could probably do a lot better now. I did this when I was just a kid. Don't judge me. How much more complex is a leaf? DNA. Reproduction. Look at some freaking snowflakes close up.
You know, if it wasn't against the YouTube guidelines, I'd happily show my testicles in this video just so you could have a really close look.
Taking the smartest minds in the world to make things that mimic life, and we're nowhere near reaching that level of complexity, and yet you're willing to believe that life just happened? You're free to do so, it's your life. It just doesn't make sense to me. As much as you may hate me for my views on your views, I love you.
Whoa, stop right there. You love me. Sorry to break it to you, buddy, but I love vagina. I'm not into dicks. However, I do want to ask you the question, do you love me because you actually, well, love me? I think love is an overused word. Or 2, do you love me because your Bible tells you to love me? And 3, do you love me because you want to share the gospel with me and don't want me to go to hell? Because if it's those last 2 options, then I don't think that you really love me. You're only doing it to save your own bacon, save your own ass from hell, because that's what you're commanded to do. And if you're only doing it because that's what you're commanded to do, then it's not real love.
And it is because I believe that there is a God who came to die for us as Jesus Christ. Why I want to tell you this, so that you will be as happy as I will be when we die.
Here's the thing about that. I don't need to believe in a God or believe in religion in order to be happy when I die. I'm going to be happy when I die because I'll be dying happy knowing that I did my best in my life to achieve as much as possible and to help and inspire and encourage and help those people who needed help. That to me, knowing that when I die I did everything in my power to change the world and make differences in the lives of people, that will make me happy. And when I die, I will rot into the ground. Nothing more.